A victory for Vancouver Whitecaps. They are off to the Concacaf Champions Cup final on June 1st. You heard Adam Jenkins say it right near the end as well. And we'll get into this. There's also a really good chance they could host that. Welcome back inside our One Soccer studio. Andy Petrillo alongside Gareth Wheeler and Jordan Wilson. So this now marks an occasion because all three Canadian MLS clubs have now made it to the final of this tournament. 2014-15, Montreal Impact, as they were known then, they ended up losing to Club America. 2018, Toronto FC also made it to the final. They lost to Guadalajara. Now it is Vancouver who has booked their ticket to the final. They await their opponent. That game goes tomorrow between Cruz Azul and Tigres. How about these scenes, Wheels?
Incredible. Over 300 Whitecaps fans with the club made the trip down to Miami, Fort Lauderdale for this game, and they can relish in this moment. You see what this means. It's their turn. At the beginning of this competition, I was kind of frustrated that more fans were coming and showing up for games, 12,000 across the board, but this team has arrived. Now all those fans have said, well, the Concacaf Champions Cup, what is this all about? I think that they now understand what this means. It's a platform for the club to go out and test themselves against some of the best club footballing teams in this federation. The path going through Monterrey, Pumas, now Lionel Messi and Inter Miami on the way, this is thoroughly deserved. By the way, without their best player available in Ryan Gauld, they've lost players across the board. Next man up mentality. There's the unknown off the field about their future. None of that matters because this group, under a new manager, they're galvanized. They love one another as people. They love each other as players, and they're putting together incredible shifts game in, game out. They didn't just win tonight, Andy. They won with an exclamation point. This is the best footballing side in CONCACAF right now. There is no doubt about it, and I don't think it's particularly close at this moment.
Well, there's this saying in sports, winning cures everything. And you're right, maybe we didn't see a lot of the fans come out in the beginning, but their team kept winning to the point where you cannot ignore them. We also saw Brian White there, though. Looked pretty good enough to jump around, which is a good sign, but we know that he was taken out early in this game because of hamstring tightness. Now, at least when it comes to this tournament, he'll have a month to make sure all is good. But this is just, again, when you look at this, and it's not easy to make the final of this tournament, but now they join the other two Canadian MLS clubs and being able to say they can do it. Now they're probably going to try and become the first to win it. No Canadian club has won it, so pretty special right now what they've been able to do.
I just need to say that in today's modern age of football, people want to buy the best players and feel like they're going to buy a championship. This Vancouver Whitecaps team rolled up their sleeves, looked to the left, looked to the right, said it doesn't matter who's there as long as you're wearing a Whitecap jersey, I'm going to run for you. I'm going to fight for you. I'm going to bleed for you. The fact that they're going to the finals right now, no one could say that this is luck. This was them putting their body on the line, and that is why I'm so elated for this team to go to that final. That winning mentality, that desire to just run more and work harder than the next team is beautiful, specifically in 2025, where a lot of people feel like things are given. This team worked for that moment, and they're going to enjoy it, and they should enjoy it. They deserve it, full stop.
They built Axel Schuster deserves a ton of credit.
Amen.
He helped build this club brick by brick. It's not just spending an incredible amount of money on designated players. In fact, one of their designated players, Stuart Armstrong, left this club before a kick of the ball this year. And like I said, their other DP, in Ryan Gauld, unavailable. They are a team in every sense of the word. It emanates from them. And that cohesion and being on the same page and fighting for one another and starting to learn how to win those moments. We saw it gradually in the Canadian Championship, back-to-back-to-back victories. Winning tournament football is different than playing a regular season. I think those collective learnings over time have given this group a whole lot of confidence, and they manifested it here on the field. Like I said, in all of these games, the Whitecaps were the better side in all of these ties, and I don't feel like it's been particularly close.
I'm going to just mention it right out of the gate here because, you know, the rules sometimes can be a little unfair. But as we know, the yellow card rule here in Concacaf Champions Cup gets wiped out of the first round, gets wiped out after quarterfinals. But this leads into what you're discussing here when it comes to just like the next man up mentality, how they've been able to play really great as a group. But Sebastian Berhalter now, that was his second yellow. So he got one in leg one, gets one here tonight just at the end of that first half. They're going to miss him in the final. Are you worried?
A little bit, because no one's, other than Brian White for me, no one is feeling as confident. No one has as much body of work to put forward and say that they're that guy. Berhalter is. We'll talk about it and what he had to do with the first 3 goals and his movement. But that is a big lot. But I think now when you're looking at what they've done in the first leg with Inter Miami and the fact that they won tonight, you leave that there. That next up mentality that Wheels was talking about, can you replace Berhalter? You cannot. But I think this team feels like they can beat anyone right now.
I would have said that about losing Sam Adekubi in this competition. 19-year-old Tate Johnson steps up.
Who would have
What
thought?
about losing right back Mateus Laborda? 21-year-old Eddie Ocampo steps up. Ryan Gauld is out. Look, like, Berhalter's a loss. Like, he's Iron Man. Like, he's Terminator. Like, it's incredible the work rate and how he's grown, and he's just a pillar of strength in this side. But then it's the time for Ralph Priso, JC Ngando. There's others that can play. And by the way, June 1st rolls around. Laborda might be back. Ryan Gauld might be back. Other players will come in. Jesper Sorensen will be more concerned about his team playing together than the individual pieces that they may lose.
Let's hear from the man that we were just talking about.
Sebastian Berhalter, you're going to a Concacaf Champions Cup final. How does that sound?
So proud of this group. I mean, just from our first game to this game now, how much we progressed. So proud to be a part of this group, and this is what we deserve. We deserve this. I'm so proud.
You were obviously the dominant team. You talk about being proud. What makes you full of pride about what you saw tonight?
The resilience, the character. I think I talked about it last game. This group is so close, so close. I've never been a part of a group like this, and you know, to come here against a great team in a tough condition to win this game is what it's all about.
You just had a moment there with the traveling fans. It's a long way from home, but you've got a lot of fans here from Vancouver. What did that mean, and what do you have a message for those who weren't able to make it from Vancouver?
Yeah, first of all, it's for you guys, man. For these guys here and the ones at home, like, your support this whole season, you know, not knowing if there's a team or not. Just honestly seeing that banner last week, you know, like allowing them to dream again, that just meant the world to us and the team, you know, to see these guys cheering here when maybe 6 months ago they didn't have a team. So it's just, I'm so proud.
June 1st, you have a final to play. What are your thoughts right now about that?
Let's get it done, man. Let's get it done. Why not? One more game. Let's get it done.
Fantastic performance again. Congratulations.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
Getting it done for the fans. So here you go, the semifinals. We know the Vancouver Whitecaps have moved on. Now we just wait for Cruz Azul and Tigres. They played leg one to a 1-1 tie. They will go tomorrow evening, and we will find out who Vancouver will be taking on. And we'll also find out at that point, too, who will be hosting. Let's get to the Volkswagen moment of the match. Sebastian Berhalter was everywhere here. He got 2 assists and a goal, but this is the Brian White goal. This is the first one of the night. They were already down 1-0 after the first half. Jordi Alba getting the goal in the 9th minute. But, guys, this was a completely different story once that second half started.
Look at that, Sergio Busquets, he's like running in sand. He completely lost Berhalter, who made the run in behind, and Brian White just taps it in. Wonderful finish, placement over power. That's why he's so savvy. That's why he's such a good finisher. But it was a run by Berhalter, and the fact that the aging legs of Sergio Busquets certainly couldn't keep up with Sebastian Berhalter.
Yeah, what did you just shaking your head, Brian?
No, there's just a lot to like. We're gonna break it down. I can't even talk about this clip because there's so much juice, nectar. There's so much goodness in this clip. For the football fans, we'll talk about it later. I can't say anything right now.
The reason why that was so big, we always said the away goal. The away goals rule has been Vancouver Whitecaps' best friend over the course of this tournament. I can't stand the away goals rule, but in this case for the Whitecaps, it worked against Monterrey, it worked against Pumas, it worked it here as well. But the fact that they scored that goal meant that Miami in 40 minutes had to go and score 3 more goals. It just wasn't happen against this good of a Vancouver Whitecaps backline.
Yeah, and they weren't going to take their foot off the gas either. We knew that Vancouver was going to be aggressive. Gatorade performance of the match. This has to go to Sebastian Berhalter. I mentioned he gets a goal in this one. It was the 3rd one of the game. game, but 2 assists, and we just saw one of them there. I mean, this is why, you know, he's aggressive in the midfield here, Jordo. There's a reason why heading into tonight's competition, he has the 2nd most minutes for Vancouver across all competition. A lot of starts as well. He's been a workhorse for Jesper Sorensen.
And that desire to get forward has just been contagious. He's grown in confidence because now he's not just running aimlessly, he's making sure he's in the right position. And then good fortune here and good awareness just to play that to Vite. People are going to say that's lucky, but look, Ahmed does the work to take on the player. Berhalter plays it big, and it's a shot on target. And if you shoot on target, good things happen. He was all over the pitch. The energy that he brings and the fact that he wants to just make his teammates better makes him a dynamite player.
Berhalter, coming into this season, had only ever scored 5 goals for the Vancouver Whitecaps. He has 4 now already this season. In this competition, he's made it his own. There are players that certain times, certain fits with managers, when they start growing into their body and start really using their football intelligence, they make steps. What we've experienced and seen from Sebastian Berhalter over the last 2 months has been giant leaps. It's not even like a step. I don't think that anyone in the footballing world saw this coming. From Berhalter, you know that there was talent, you know that there was pedigree there. Another player that the Vancouver Whitecaps bought low on, gave him time, and now the context is right to see him achieve. And it's really interesting hearing Jesper Sorensen speak about him, because he thinks that he might have another level. Because he'll run for days. He's like, if you just think a little bit more and just get used to the cadences of playing, you don't have to expend your energy all at once. You can pace yourself a little bit more. And once he figures out that, he might be the next big central midfielder in Major League Soccer to move on to play somewhere else.
Why this means so much and why I'm so happy for Berhalter is because he's put in that work silently. And then now you're seeing the leaps, yes. But when he was doing that work last year, years before, it was just quiet. He wasn't complaining. He just went about his business and worked. And that training mentality, everyone's going to be like, oh, look at the season that you're having. But the work that you put in, the time that you're on the bench, that for me shows the true character of a player.
All right, let's go to the 41st minute here. It's the try and make a mark in this game. And then, I mean, he's just so scary on dead ball situations as well. Takayuka making the save there. So pretty once again, just, you know, kind of taming in a sense Messi in this game.
Quiet night.
Yeah.
For Lionel Messi, had a free kick late in the game, went straight at Takayuka as well. Messi, really a non-factor.
Yeah, there we go. Full-time stats there, as you can see right now. 17 shots to Vancouver's 10. They both are equal with 6 on target. But so either way, Miami did make a game of this. The Whitecaps, though, refused to sit back and absorb all of the attack. They got into it in the second half, and that's where things turned around as we bring in Christian Jack now inside Chase Stadium. We kind of broke down just how great this is. We just saw your interview, KJ, as well, with Berhalter saying this is for the fans. How is everyone feeling right now?
Yeah, it's quite emotional. You know, there's a bunch of Vancouver fans just over to my right who made the long journey here. And I have to say, first of all, every credit to this wonderful football club who stepped up in a lot of moments, in crucial moments on the field during this tournament, but off the field as well. You know, Axel Schuster told me last week we're more than just a football club, they're a community club, and the way that they've treated a lot of their supporters here to get them down here and to be here for this historic moment means everything. Without fans, we have nobody in this game, and the fans that were here never stopped singing. We never played O Canada inside this stadium to start off, by the way. We heard the US national anthem. They never played O Canada. They sung it from the start to finish at the beginning of the game, and they never stopped singing afterwards. So first of all, every credit to them. The Whitecaps players felt it, and the moment the final whistle went, they went straight to them, because that's what it's all about. So an emotional night for the Whitecaps and Canadian soccer in general. You know, I thought they were absolutely marvelous. You know, to be able to be in full control of this tie from the start to finish. That's what they were, in full control of the tie. Should surprise absolutely nobody who's watched them on a regular basis in Major League Soccer, and should not surprise them because they believed throughout. You know, there was a lot of people who maybe not watched them that often, or a lot of people who watched Miami and brought the resumes of Messi, Suarez, Busquets and Jordi Alba and others and expected a bigger fight from Inter Miami. But there were fans walking out here in the 55th minute and they weren't wearing Vancouver shirts.
How much credit do you also give to Jesper Sorensen? Obviously, you were on the sidelines there, and you could see that changes needed to be made in that second half. We saw young Tate Johnson. I mean, you highlighted it as well at halftime, being on a yellow, and then, of course, Busquets being all over him. We knew Sabi was a substitution that he made coming into this game and taking Rios out, but then things changed in that second half. How crucial were those changes for them turning things around?
Yeah, look, he's a magnificent leader, and every player will tell you about that. You know, there's a soft-spoken side to him that we see in the media. There's a different side to him, a very competitive edge side to him that some players have seen and some of us have seen as well when it comes to it. But, you know, tactically, he reads the game really well. He's very composed when he needs to be, and he got all of his decisions right. We talked about the reason why Johnson had to come off at halftime, and he brought on Adekubi. He made a key change last week in bringing Sabi on at halftime for Rios. His changes last week made a big difference with Nelson coming on and making an enormous addition in that second goal as well for Berhalter. So we got everything right today, and everything right last leg as well. So, you know, again, credit to the Whitecaps and Axel Schuster to go and recruit this man who's been a tremendous leader for this team to get them to a Concacaf Champions Cup final.
All right, let us know how the party is in Miami when you return, my friend. That is Christian Jack, who is inside Chase Stadium. I don't know, I hear it's fun in Miami.
Yeah,
These
it's
are just
okay.
things that I hear. It's okay.
I have a little bit of experience.
I don't know. I'm just hearing from people. You have been teasing us since the beginning. You refused to break down that Brian White goal when I brought it up the first time. Let's break it down now.
A lot to like about his movement, but I just love this clip because true midfielders, what you do on the offense is get in between players. So you see here Berhalter, he's covered, you can't even see him. But watch what he does, just gets on the shoulder, perfect. Now he's out of line of sight of the midfielders, in between Busquets, and he's gonna attack that space. And as we roll it through, that is the area you want the pass. He gets it. Now watch this. This is what I love because we talk about the fox in the box being Brian White. Look what he does to the center back there, Wheels, and this is what I love, a little bit of contact. Play it forward, just acts like he's gonna go for it. Nope, cut back. The timing is perfect. Wheels, if he waits a second, he gets covered. If he goes too early, he's not in that spot. This is a nightmare for center backs. They went to go and cut off the pass that's coming across, and White just cuts back. Now, this just looks like something that, oh, it happens and it's fluke. This is happening in training. The timing, the trust, getting on that near post and coming back to that penalty spot. Beautiful finish, chef's kiss, and it's with the left foot as well.
White, countless times over the course of these two legs, have made the run in behind. He's gone deep, and the center backs haven't been able to keep track of him. The fact that he checked in that moment, those players expected him to go deep. Also, the wherewithal of Berhalter. You saw him when it was frozen. When White was making the run, his head was up.
Yes.
His head was up right away. He was patient to allow the play to break down. So it was ultimate execution by both players in that moment.
You executed that as well. That is the way you do it. We love footy in here, baby.
Can I add it? Opta's put out a stat, and this seems ridiculous to me. Lionel Messi has been a thing for almost 2 decades now. The Vancouver Whitecaps are the first club team to win their first 2 games against Lionel Messi. Ever. No one has ever done it before.
Wow.
That's
Vancouver
a crazy
Whitecaps.
stat.
I mean, that's just wild.
Yeah.
And we sit here on a day, just for a little bit more context.
They beat him and he doesn't score.
Yeah, doesn't score. Yeah. They dumped Lionel Messi out of the Concacaf Champions Cup semifinal. If you're watching the Asian Champions League today, Cristiano Ronaldo and Al Nassr were dumped out of the semifinal by a team from Japan. Times are changing. It's a team sport. Although they're both in the latter stages of their careers, they cannot do it by themselves. It requires a team effort. And beyond that, Father Time is undefeated. Like, times are changing where a team from Canada and a team from Japan can take on the money and the affluence that's come along with playing for Inter Miami or Al Nassr in Saudi Arabia and go on and beat those teams. That's what I love about football. So good on both of them. These are just, it's really funny, the 2 players that you consider the GOATs both get dumped out of their Continental Champions League, Champions Cup on the exact same day. That's wild stuff for me.
And when we return on One Soccer, we're going to debate who is the GOAT. Is it Cristiano Ronaldo or Lionel Messi? No, we're not going to do that.
No, we're not doing that.
We have some other things to get into, like the Canadian Championship. We're going to update you on Toronto FC and CF Montreal, and we're also going to look ahead to the final of Concacaf Champions Cup. Messi That is it for him. Curtains on Inter Miami, but the party's just getting started for the Whitecaps.
Are you having any fun? What you getting out of living? Who cares for what you've got if you're not having any fun? Are you having any laugh? Are you getting any loving? If other people do, why can't you have a little fun? And have a little fun.
Canadian soccer fans, we're different. We cheer on the Reds while cheering out our motherlands and each other's lands. Soccer is in our hearts. Our roots are on display. Not to divide, but to unite. Because to us, soccer's more than just a game. It's who we are. From coast to coast to coast, it connects us all. Cheers to the game.
This isn't your first time flying to show support for your team, but it is the first time you use the wrong kind of paint.
It says here you could try mayonnaise.
WestJet, where your story takes off.
For generations, we've put more goodness in so you get a whole lot more out of every single delicious egg. A lot goes into a little at Burnbrae Farms.
Here we go. Group A or Group B?
2A, 1B.
Allergies, B's.
Next kid.
Hey, pollen.
Application is done. Just waiting for the submit window. Whatever happens, I love you.
Oh my gosh, I'm feeling good about this.
They're in. Oh, yes.
What cable internet connection? We're not in.
When the stakes are high, why rely on cable internet? Switch to TELUS Pure Fiber, Canada's most reliable internet technology.
Dear supporters, you know who you are and where you come from. Local, passionate, undeniably Canadian. You are the soul, heartbeat, substance, community. This is for you with gratitude, made in Canada for all the world to see. So go forth, grow your ranks, and get stuck in.
This is Halifax, and this is the Fortress. It's unforgiving.
Chamorro put it to bed!
Forge haven't found a win here in 2 seasons. Geyser's home record against them, still spotless. A return, a rivalry, a reckoning.
Beckham, where to go?
The Canadian Premier League. Halifax Wanderers FC, Forge FC. Saturday on TSN and One Soccer.
Halftime between Toronto FC and CF Montreal.
Hey.
We showed you the highlights. It was crazy. 2-2. So this one went to PKs. Spicer, his is saved, guys.
And
That's a good finish.
Waterman. Oh.
Go on,
Great finish.
Waterman scores. Then we got Franklin.
Kobe!
Ooh.
Kobe!
Ooh. He's happy about that.
Sirwa got a piece.
Done well in the shootout, Sierra.
Finish Sealy.
Mm-hmm.
No, Gavrin goes the wrong way. By the way, if you haven't seen the highlight of Giacomo Veroni.
This is the best one.
His goal that sent it to Pens.
The half
Incredible.
volley. Half volley was
Half
electric. Finish. Gave the keeper the eyes. Love that.
This one your heart breaks a little bit.
Do you know what this is?
Oh my goodness.
This is John Terry, Champions League final, Moscow against Manchester United.
Oh.
Honestly, the exact same form, the exact same slip.
Ooh.
John Terry, right there. Pierce.
Oh my
That
goodness.
happens. So you think TFC has a chance, right? Because you're like, okay, we just need them to miss another one here, right? But Montreal's still feeling pretty good. Montreal in the lead, so everyone watching this.
And Hilton, oof.
Tries
What
to
a
go down
save.
the middle.
Great save.
If you go down the middle, it's got to be a Panenka. It's got to be
High.
something. You can't hit it like that.
Oh,
That's a poor pen.
This one hurts. Oh. Absolutely.
It hurts for TFC. Big win for CF Montreal because we've said it all along, guys, right? TFC, these two are the bottom in the league. TFC does have one MLS win. CF Montreal, no wins yet in MLS. This is their tournament.
Yeah.
Like, this is it for them. So how huge is the win for Montreal? How big is the loss for Toronto?
Let's start with Montreal. Maybe this can start building a little bit of momentum. I don't think that they're that bad of a team. I think they've been underperforming. If you look into their data, the way they've been playing, the expected goals, expected goal differential, they're an average team. I think Veroni's been a huge loss. His goal tonight that he scored was sensational. He's just miles better than Prince Owusu. Once they get him in on a regular basis, I think they'll be okay. This is an unmitigated disaster for Toronto FC. There was rotation in the squad tonight. Seems like they had about 4 attacking players who are all left-sided players that were on. Jonathan Osorio goes out through injury. They're playing a striker that I've never heard of in my life. They should have gone all out to win this game and make a run in this competition because this team right now is a disaster. Lorenzo Insigne continues to do nothing. I never even really understood why they brought him back into the team. It was a sign of desperation. And from bad, this just goes to worse. What are they playing for here? If you look at this team, if you look at the players that are available, can you actually tell me that they're capable of making a run towards the MLS Cup playoffs? I don't see it at all. They need an extreme makeover, and until that's acknowledged and they start moving Insigne out, it has to be now, literally now, because they have a bunch of big money players coming out of contract at the end of the year. Then they can start to rebuild after that. This season's going to be a lost one. I think there's a light at the end of the tunnel, but open heart surgery is required on this TFC side.
I still don't like talking about it, but in my playing days, when you have a losing run or you have a horrible start to the season like CF Montreal, you go around, there's a positive guy in the locker room, that was usually me, saying, guys, our luck will turn at a point. We're going to figure it out. You see the tying goal to 2-2. You see the fact that you win a penalty shootout against TFC and you get to go on this tournament. And then you have a 2-leg affair of whoever you're going to play in, Halifax Wanderers or Forge FC. You're starting to think if you're CF Montreal, maybe our luck is turning. Maybe our fortune is going to happen. We're going to tap into it. But for me, it was a bit too lifeless the first half and also just looking at this season. But again, a win like that just breeds confidence. And maybe they're going to chip away and get things done. Yeah.
Well, we'll see, because this will be the tournament for them. This will be their chance to win a trophy. This will be their chance, if they do win it, to be in the very tournament we're bringing you here tonight in Concacaf Champions Cup. Of course, you'll have Vancouver Whitecaps to deal with, who are looking for the 4-peat. Only team to do that was Toronto FC. As you take a look at the preliminary round that will continue here, the 2025 TELUS Canadian Championship next week, you can see the matchups there, so that'll be a ton of fun. All right, Champions Cup final tomorrow night. We will find out. Tigres or Cruz Azul will be the opponent of Vancouver Whitecaps on June 1st.
Bring them on.
And here's the thing. Tigres, Cruz Azul tomorrow. If that game ends in a draw, Vancouver hosts.
We go in.
That'd be another sellout.
We go in. Look, I don't care if I gotta run.
Are we?
If I gotta run, ski, bike,
canoe,
kayak,
rollerblade,
fish, swim, I'm going. Climb.
You're gonna fish your way. What does that even mean?
We going. Fish and throw. We're going.
We're gonna go big game.
We gotta
fishing.
go.
That'll be another 54,000.
Did you miss that?
Like
big game fishing? Sorry, you had to have watched our show during the pandemic. That was a way back throwback when we all said we're going to go big game fishing. I'm like, I don't think that's the same. But yes, so they set a record. They set a club record for MLS attendance. You know, it was just under 54,000 in that first leg against Inter Miami. Prior to that, they had also set a record May 2024, also against Inter Miami. No doubt it's the Lionel Messi effect. But this is a fan base that has the ability to put over 50,000 in BC Place, and you know that's going to be the case again on June 1st if they can host.
Vancouver, British Columbia is a fantastic soccer city and a fantastic soccer province. Rich in history, from the Soccer Bowl in 1979, people love their Whitecaps. Now there's no excuse. I feel like there are runs in sports, and we've been covering various sports for quite some time. There's times when a team achieves and it matters just a little bit more. We heard Sebastian Berhalter address it. The fans, the future of the club, it was all up in the air. It was hard for the fans to rally around this group because they weren't sure what the future of their club had in store, the fact that the club is for sale. Now going on this run right now with the momentum and the awareness and the reinforcement about what this club means to the people of Vancouver, perhaps this can really shift some hearts and minds and maybe project for something better in terms of the future and the Whitecaps staying in that city. They deserve that club. The club deserves them. And hopefully this final can help just completely reinforce the love affair between fans and the players and the team.
Why wouldn't you want to back this team? There's no ego. No. They're not cocky. They roll up their sleeves. They work hard. They're very likable. Yeah. They play a certain brand of football. They're exciting to watch going forward. They defend with their lives. Come on. If you can't back them, like, you have to back them now. They're a joy to watch. We've enjoyed every single game.
Yeah.
Piping into this team. This is fantastic, and they will host. I already feel. You know how I feel about this stuff. I told you it was going to go to Penn. I told you it was going to go in Penn tonight.
It's actually freaky how he gets
Chills knows. I always get it right. They're going to host.
Never gives me the right numbers for my lottery ticket.
Never.
But he
doesn't
can
work that
guess
way.
results.
It's not with money.
And they keep on winning in MLS too.
Well, that's the thing. They're not faltering really anywhere yet. But you're right. Going into the season, between being up for sale, between Axel Schuster even come out and saying they are going to try and find a new venue. They maybe find a place or build a place. Like, you're just kind of getting sometimes a little bit of like, what's going on? We don't want to lose this club. The fan base has been there. You see what they're doing, but the players, you give them credit, they were able to put a lot of that noise heading into this season aside. To your point, here they are in the final now of Concacaf Champions Cup, and they're leading the way in MLS as well. So what a momentous night for Vancouver to be able to punch their ticket to the final. They will be playing for a very big trophy on June 1st. That's Jordan Wilson, Gareth Wheeler. I'm Andy Petrillo. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you next time.
This isn't your first time flying to show support for your team, but it is the first time you use the wrong kind of paint.
It says here you could try mayonnaise.
WestJet, where your story takes off.
For too long, we've been told that greatness comes from somewhere else. Sorry, that ends.